Welcome back. Okay, let's try to remove some of that hard-coded data. Hey, I do want to mention actually, I am not an Elm expert yet. So some of the things I do here are just maybe my way of thinking. And I suspect, I might be declaring types when they're not actually needed. Meaning that maybe the types can be inferred, but it's I'm learning just like everyone else, and I just want to share that experience. So what do we want to do? Well, let's just see. At the moment, when we get the view, okay, the view actually needs a model in order to convert this to HTML. That's what this function does. Basically, this is a function called view, takes a model and converts it to HTML. We're not actually using the model yet. Everything's hard-coded. We want to change that. We want to actually pass in some model data. If we scroll to the bottom, we can see that currently, we just pass in this dummy model. So we're probably going to want to change that. Also, since I'm here, this is old commented out code. Let's just get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. Cool. Now, of course, we're going to be getting our data from DynamoDB. Well, we're getting from a REST backend. The actual implementation is storing it in DynamoDB. And we've already put the data in there. So I'm voting that we go back here. And I think I need to go to the AWS console. I'm going to log back in. I'm going to go to DynamoDB. And I'm going to find an example of our data. So we go to Tables, Portfolio, Items. And there's our main item right here. So let's open that up. And by the way, it may look like that, may look like that. I like this view. And I'm just going to grab the data, so just the data of interest. These are the things that are going to be returned when we call our RESTful endpoint. If you ask for the main record, looks good so far. So let me just flip back to Visual Studio, and let's create an initial model based on that record. So instead of dummy model, let's return a record that's got that data. Okay, and now we got to start doing some syntax things. Let's get rid of some of these quotes and these quotes. And this will be I'm not sure if we're allowed to have a dash, so I'm going to assume I need to call it like username logo. Looks good so far. Now when we initialize a record, I think we have to use equal signs here. That actually makes sense. Not bad. So at the moment, the model consists of a record that's got this field byline, image URL, title, username. And that's being passed into our view function. So in theory, let's maybe just search for some of these strings. So this is the byline. Oh, this is the new byline. The old byline said something different. Let's find it. So that's actually kind of in the middle of the file. I think that's right around here. Yes, this is that text string there. Okay, so let's do this. We know we have this model record, and we know that now it's got a byline on it. Nice. That was pretty easy. Let's do another one. Let's do my name. So the username is called username. So this should be model dot username. And And in fact, this probably, let's see, this, yeah, all of this should be something we find in the model. So, username logo. Let's replace this with model.username logo. Looks pretty good. Okay, now we don't need to call this Rob's logo. I mean, it's just a logo. This is the alt stuff. If someone's using a screen reader, they'll have access to that. Let's go over here. Looks pretty good. Now this is part of our nav buttons, so we don't have data for that. But down here, I should have this is like the main URL. What did we call that again? I think we called it image URL. So I'm going to go back up here, and we're going to get rid of the finger wave, and we're going to say, oh, this is actually model.imageURL. And I think we're almost done for the main stuff. Welcome, we got our welcome string here. That's title. So model.title. All right, let's compile and see if this is all good. I think it is. One nice thing about Elm actually is if it compiles, it probably does what you think it's going to do. It's great to have the compiler have your back. It really is. As opposed to JavaScript. Yeah, there's some things about JavaScript it's like, oh, seriously? Anyways, I digress. Let's continue. Let's refresh our web page. Amazing! Yeah, it looks the same, I know. Good, but it looks the same, but we're getting data from our model now. And eventually we're going to transform this to get data from the back end. That's pretty important. Let's go back, and let's go back to code. And, yeah, I think we're going to continue by doing a little more work to bring over the nav buttons, and we'll also do the same thing for the profiles. So this is a good spot to stop. I'm going to, we're going to continue on this in the next video. Thank you very much.